Hi and welcome back to my channel. It's Amber again and this is Lighting the Mind. I'm super excited to be here and I'm sure you are too. Well, if you've always been on this channel watching, subscribing and sharing, thank you so much. And if this is your first time, I would like to encourage you to like, share and subscribe. And you can also click on the notification bell so that you can always get updates anytime there's a new post. Do well, please. Thank you. So stay tuned as we continue on this discussion. But then, how do you see yourself right now? Do you think you're at a disadvantage? Do you feel because you're the last child of 7? I'm the last child of 7. Do you feel that because you didn't have some certain things, you're disadvantaged? What do you see as your disadvantage? What do you see as your disadvantage? What do you think about yourself that just seems like, oh, if I had this, it would have been better. If I had that, it would have been better. Well, stay tuned. Let's share this. Okay, so what I'll be focused on is a movie I watch, a cartoon. By the way, I love watching cartoons, but I don't watch them for fun though. Whatever I watch, I try to pick 1 or 2 lessons from it, and just like this, I got a lesson from it. So it's a movie I watch. Is titled Kirikou and the Sorceress. Yes, and like many of us, Kirikou was a child that was born in a rather strange way, in a weird way. Let me put, for instance, which child can talk right from the womb? What kind of child is that the mother didn't have to push. He practically crawled out of the mother. He was able to talk, he could walk almost immediately, but he was so small, smaller than anybody, like smaller than any baby that was born like the natural way. And in the environment he had a lot of criticisms. He had people who didn't like him, people that were not ready to mingle with him because of his stature, because he wasn't just born like the normal way. He was rather weird. Everything about him was just very different. A lot of people didn't want to play with him. They didn't like him, although he had this great wisdom, but nobody was ready to listen to him because, well, his birth and everything, how he looked, and it all felt like it was to his disadvantage. But here comes the thing about Kirikou. It got to a point that this evil sorceress, he needs to fight her, but then he doesn't know how, and it just seems like he's the only person who is able to fight them. Men that are well grown than him could not fight him. So how can this tiny boy actually save the entire village? He kept pushing and pushing. So it made me see that it's not about how small you are, it's not about how little, it's not about the circumstances surrounding your birth, it's not about the situation surrounding you, it's not about where you were born, it's not about whether you had a father or you didn't have a father. It's about what's inside of you. Are you ready to give life to what's inside of you? And that was what he did. He was small, but what was inside of him was so big, and he was willing to give it life. He was willing to push it through to see that it's birthed. And that is why I'm here today to speak with you. Some of us, we are the last children, but it feels like what's on our shoulder is greater than that of a first child. And it just seems like, oh my God, can I do this? Funny thing is that Kirikou got to that point and he was like, oh, I wish. Yeah, I remember clearly when he was about to fight this beast, to kill a beast that has been taking all the water from their village. He was like, I cannot do this. I need someone who is big, who has the skills to be able to do this. But then he thought, no one else can get through this hole because the hole was very tiny. it just seems like he was born for that particular season. He was this tiny, and that particular hole he needs to get through was very tiny. Nobody else could have gotten through it but him. So there are situations that are waiting for you to actually come and change the whole, thing around. You might think that no, it requires someone big, but you know what, that situation was actually prepared for you, because it is only you that can actually solve that thing. So he was now able, he thought about it for a minute, and then he went and got something, and he was able to bring back water to that place. You understand? So when he needed to do the big thing. Now he did one thing and he felt, okay, I'm able to bring water back to this village. Maybe I could see how this evil sorceress can actually stop. I don't know what's behind all her pain, why she's doing all these things. It means sometimes we have to go back, sit down and think. Let's not use our heart, but let's use our head. Now when you think well with your head, now your heart is going to lead you to how you're going to do this thing, how you're going to do that. Now that's what he did. And then with the help of his mother, of course, he needed good counsel. So in situations, we always need good counsel as well. So he spoke with his mom, and the mom told him about necessary things he needed to do, and then when he eventually met with the people that were going to help him, find a permanent solution to all their troubles in the village, he kept complaining that he doesn't know why he's too small, he doesn't know why he's this, he doesn't know why he's that. And that old man told him that now you're complaining that you're small, but later on when you think about it, you actually wish that you remain small. Like, we should always thank God for where we are, because for every step, for every season that we are in our lives, it is for a purpose. We have to fulfill something beautiful. And that man made him to understand that he was born small, because it is only a person like him that could have done what he is doing, and that could have been able to save his village. Everything he said made him to realize. Okay, so here are some few points I want you to go home with. I know I've spoken a lot already, but here's point 1. You were born unique with special giftings and talent from God. Your circumstances of birth, background, society, etc. notwithstanding. Okay, so number 2, because you look different doesn't make you an alien. You're just extraordinary. Use it to your advantage. That's exactly what he did. He was different, but he was unique. You need to know that you're different. Like, how will I put it? That you were born different is not a disadvantage to you. It depends on how you see it, but I want you to see it henceforth, that the fact that you were born different doesn't make you an alien. It just makes you unique. It makes you extraordinary. You are that extra to the ordinary people see, so they tend to get scared. What kind of person is this? Where did they get this one from? No, you are that extra, so I don't want you to get scared. Rather, dig deep, because there's something massive inside of you that was hidden in something very small that people don't get to know. So I don't want you to get scared, but I want you to brace up. Surround yourself with good counsel, like men that are going to bring out the best in you. Do not listen to the criticism. Do not listen to what men say. Do not allow anybody to push negative. You don't need the negative energy. Push it away. Now, even if your mindset is trying to tell you, well, you're different from these people, you can't achieve nothing, tell yourself, I was born for this season, I was born for now. Do not allow anybody to tone you down. Never. Do not allow that to happen. You need to raise your head up. And I've learned something about subconscious reconditioning. When your subconscious mind wants to tell you cannot do this thing, tell yourself, I can do it. Constantly remind yourself. Positive affirmations get to make you, become that person you want to be. So you need to keep pushing. You need to keep pushing, and you're going to get there. And you know what? The world is going to celebrate you. So do not allow anything to limit you. Not even how you look, not how you were born, not the circumstances around you. Just look within. You're going to find that big thing inside of you. Okay, I'm talking too much already. So I already made mention of this third point, that you were born for a season. So do not fight yourself. Embrace yourself. No one else can fit into that space except you. So take it and use it to your advantage. Stop dwelling on what's not there and on what's there, because a lot of us feel, well, I'm too small, just like Kiriko. I'm too small, so I can't possibly do this. No, he thought, well, despite I'm small, but I can use it to my advantage. And he became like the hero of the village, not like he was the hero of the village. Yeah. And always remember that there's always light at the end of the tunnel. Thank you so much for listening to me, and I would love to hear from you. I've always said this, but not so many of you always say one thing or the other, but no problem. I'm very sure one day soon, and I'm hoping soon is today. Please do like, share, subscribe, and comment. Okay, thank you so much for always staying, and as always, this is Amma, your girl, on Lighting the Mind. Thank you so much for staying through on this episode, and God bless you. Have a beautiful week ahead. Bye.